Our thing is just how we work and how we operate. It must make business sense on our side.
Let me get to you, because I understand that you have retired, you're 50-0, you walked away from the game, you made a lot of money, but you did make news sometime last year when people were talking about you returning. Now you're 43 years old, okay? I want to know where your head is at as it pertains to you.
Well, whatever reason it is that they want to see you, that reason is why you. It's not that you just deserve the money, because it's hard to do.
Right. I have never encountered an athlete who, number one, flaunts his wealth the way Floyd flaunts his wealth, and who, number two, is so blindly full of himself to the fault of those who did pave the way. He did acknowledge that much, so I appreciate that much.
The man who once proudly called himself the best ever, Floyd Mayweather Jr., is now facing serious challenges. The boxing legend has become the center of a growing controversy. Reports and accusations are beginning to surface, claiming involvement in alleged scams and suggesting that he could even be approaching a major financial collapse.
I did it the hard way. You know, I'm a kid that came from poverty. I can remember being a kid living in Jersey with my mother. 7 of us living in a 1-bedroom. You know, no lights, no heat. Never cried, never complained. Just worked hard to get to where I got to in life. It's been hard work.
When Floyd Mayweather Jr. transformed from Pretty Boy Floyd into Money Mayweather, his entire public image began to change. He was no longer seen only as a highly skilled boxer with one of the greatest offensive styles in the sport. Instead, he started presenting himself as a symbol of extreme wealth and success. The spotlight slowly shifted from pure boxing greatness to the display of luxury, as Mayweather began to make money, power, and lavish living the center of his identity.
You want to look at guys that never got hit. Floyd went his entire career, got hit hard like 3 or 4 times, ever.
Yeah. When he fought Diego Chico Corrales, was one of my favorite all-time fights, you know, because it was like, there was nothing for Diego to hit, and then all of a sudden he just bounced in his face, bop, left hook from like 5 feet away. That's a Mayweather that I think nobody could possibly maybe beat.
That was the Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather. That was before he became Money Mayweather.
He gradually reinvented himself as a powerful personal brand, openly displaying wealth, luxury, and success at every opportunity. The conversation around Floyd Mayweather Jr. began shifting away from his legendary defensive mastery inside the ring to the extravagant lifestyle he proudly showcased outside of it. With massive paydays from each fight, he continued earning hundreds of millions, cementing his place among the richest athletes in the world.
It's just complete genius.
Yes.
First of all, from just changing his style, right? He broke his hands a lot. So when he was younger, they called him Pretty Boy Floyd.
Yeah.
And then he changed his name to Money. And when he changed his name to Money, he turns heel.
Yeah.
He became like this guy and everybody wanted to see him get beat.
Yeah.
And he's the most unhittable guy in the history of the sport.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's interesting when fighters figure out ways to do that too, like what Floyd is doing. What Floyd is doing is so interesting. He retires from fighting and he says, I'll just start boxing people who have no chance.
Hey, why not?
Floyd Mayweather Jr. began his professional journey earning around $3 million per fight. But everything changed when he made the bold decision to break away from traditional promoters and operate independently. That move dramatically elevated his financial success and placed him on a path toward earning extraordinary sums of money. By taking full control of his career and business decisions, Mayweather reshaped the boxing model, eventually becoming one of the highest paid athletes in the world. His independence and calculated approach outside the ring allowed him to build a financial legacy few fighters have ever matched.
Floyd Mayweather was the highest paid athlete in the world, and you won't believe why. Early in his career, Floyd partnered with a fight promoter where he was making $3 million a fight, but he wasn't satisfied. He thought he could make way more with pay-per-view and wanted out of his contract. So he bet on himself and paid his manager $750,000 to get out. And you won't believe what happened next, so drop a follow. This would prove to be a huge win for Floyd, and after going independent, he made nearly $1 billion and became the highest paid athlete in the world.
However, with the rise of his immense fortune came growing personal tensions. Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s father, Floyd Mayweather Sr., once revealed that before Floyd reached the heights of his wealth, The two rarely had serious disagreements. But as millions began pouring in, their relationship slowly started to change. Floyd developed a taste for extravagant spending, becoming fascinated with luxury cars, expensive properties, and other lavish purchases. According to his father, this sudden shift in lifestyle created friction between them, reinforcing his belief that money can often change people and the relationships around them.
We have never had an argument in our life, me and him. Then we had an argument on what was the name of it? HBO. We was on HBO. Then another time we argued over by the car. I'm saying, man, what is all this about now? I'm just saying, you know, and we never had no argument. All of a sudden, it is or it ain't. Sometimes, you know, hey, when people get, it ain't about me training or anything like that. People get money, man, things change. I don't care whether it's your father, mother, whoever. Father, mother, brother, sister, name it. You know, if sometimes when people get money.
As Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s wealth continued to grow, many critics claimed that his confidence gradually turned into arrogance. This shift in attitude reportedly strained several of his personal relationships, including bonds with some longtime friends. Legendary heavyweight champion Mike Tyson was among those who publicly questioned Mayweather's behavior. Tyson suggested that excessive arrogance was nothing to admire and warned that Floyd needed to stay grounded. According to Tyson, even someone with enormous wealth and success must remain humble and keep their ego under control.
How do you feel about Floyd, though?
Huh?
How do you feel about
Awesome
Floyd?
fighter, great fighter. You know, he's a little too into himself. You know, he should be. I was the same way too, but you have to come to reality some way. You have to bring your head down to God. We're nothing to be fucking arrogant. You expect us to be ignorant and arrogant. Look where we came from.
That's why I asked the question earlier about you mentoring fighters, because I feel like Floyd looked at you growing up like every other fighter. And the persona and the lifestyle was like, growing up in the hood, we looked at it like, that's Mike Tyson. We see the cars, the jewelry, the flair. Like you was a movie star. You was a hero.
I didn't see that.
One of the most talked about friendships in the entertainment world was between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and rapper turned businessman 50 Cent. For years, the two appeared inseparable, often seen together celebrating success and wealth. But as Mayweather's fortune continued to grow, cracks slowly began to appear in their relationship. According to 50 Cent, Floyd's growing obsession with money eventually became difficult to tolerate. He claimed that Mayweather even told him he never needed or asked for his help, despite the strong bond they had shared for years. In the end, their fallout was widely believed to be rooted in Floyd's relentless focus on wealth, which critics say came at the expense of his legacy and the relationships that had supported him from the start.
And I'm sitting there going, yo, when you gonna give me the money?
Because you had already invested.
Right, like when you gonna give me your half of the money back. But I ain't trying to press him because he just got out of jail. Right? So it's like, let him cool his heels before you.
Was that in the millions?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you sitting there big, and I'm like, yo, so when, but see, the fighters are an asset in themselves. They are that talent, regardless. Right. You know, so I'm looking at him going, so there ain't no pressure there, but I'm saying, when is he gonna say he wants to, to give me the other half of it? Why I gotta ask you for it?
Right.
And then when
are we talking over $2 million?
It's about that.
Oh, okay.
At that point, it was, invested in.
All right.
So look, he goes, when he finally does bring up the actual situation, he acted like he didn't know anything. Like, I didn't tell you how to do that. I didn't tell you to do that.
He said something to me one time, very simple. He said, what a prize fighter fight for? And I'm like, and he said, the prize. So it's okay for you to watch the fight. Don't nobody watch Floyd fight to see how amazing he is. They watch it for the opportunity to see him lose.
Right.
Because they don't like him. They don't like him because everything that he says is about money. There's nothing else. There's no values. There's
like the people's champ, like Ali was standing for the same things.
Right.
The audience was standing for. You know, he doesn't have any of that. It's just money. You know what I'm saying? And that, he knows you don't like him.
Part 9 rewritten, clear documentary style, same meaning and length. Another major fallout in Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s career involved his relationship with one of his most talented proteges, Gervonta Davis, widely known as Tank. Davis eventually distanced himself from Mayweather, claiming that the partnership had become increasingly one-sided and restrictive. According to Davis, Mayweather often placed him in situations where he remained dependent on him professionally and financially. Despite the significant revenue Davis generated through his fights and growing popularity in boxing, he believed he was not being compensated fairly for his efforts. This growing frustration eventually reached a breaking point, leading Davis to cut ties with Mayweather and pursue his career independently.
Or I'm gonna be back asking you for money. Nah, why would I do that? I give her a couple dollars. I take some, whatever. Whenever you need some money, you feel me? But when I was legit to be able to get out the hood, that's what I did.
Like, I had to learn that coming up that, like, a motherfucker will put you in a position to always need him. And, like, to the world, it might look like that's a great person. But, like, to somebody to understand, you understand, like, what Kendrick Lamar say? Nah, that's a master manipulator. Like, because if I gotta put you in a position that always need me, you always gotta, I'm gonna just give you crumbs. And we hear it a lot. Like, if I'm a, nigga, what's $1,000? You know what I'm trying to say? But to you who don't have it, is a lot, and I know you gonna go to war for that $1,000. So me understanding that $48 of plot power, I'ma always feed you a little bit so you can be excited and do just enough to come back around.
But I ain't really just put me in a position to be able to, you know, make my own thing. And I don't want to say no name, but they wind up catching it. The people that's over top of me, I mean, like I was signed to him, and Floyd signed to him. So personality. He said, "Okay, cool. I see what's going on." That's when he started taking over my career.
Gervonta Davis also criticized Floyd Mayweather Jr. for what he described as an inability to accept others surpassing him. According to Davis, Mayweather often became uncomfortable when fighters began earning more money or receiving greater recognition in the sport. Davis suggested that this competitive mindset sometimes turned into jealousy, particularly when newer fighters started gaining fame and financial success. He even pointed out that Mayweather had once claimed he was greater than Muhammad Ali, a statement that many boxing fans viewed as controversial given Ali's legendary status in the history of the sport.
I'm record to say this. Okay. Out of all these guys in the history of boxing, yes, I've accomplished more than every fighter in the history of boxing. Okay, Ali. Is Ali the same fighter that got beat by a fighter with 7 fights? Leon Spinks beat Muhammad Ali when he only had 7 fights. Yes. And if we really tell the truth, if we really tell the truth, well, that's what you're here for. You're here to tell the truth. What's the heavyweight guy that Ali fought 3 times? Ken Norton, actually. Ken Norton. Ken Norton really beat Ali all 3 times. Go back and look at the fights. I mean, we just telling the truth. And I love Ali, of course.
Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s arrogance extended far beyond his personal relationships. He made a point of flaunting his wealth, parading his luxury cars, private jets, and extravagant lifestyle for all to see. This ostentatious behavior, combined with bold and controversial remarks, drew widespread criticism and fueled public disdain. Mayweather's repeated claims of being the greatest, regardless of the achievement of other boxing legends, only intensified negative perceptions, cementing his reputation as one of the most polarizing figures in boxing history.
In all of my career, I have never encountered an athlete who, number one, flaunts his wealth the way Floyd flaunts his wealth, and who, number two, is so blindly full of himself to the fault of those who did pave the way. He did acknowledge that much, so I appreciate that much. But the way he just blithely scoffed at Ali's accomplishments, it wasn't just disrespectful, Stephen A. Smith. It was flat out blasphemous. Now, to your credit, you did go back at him. You can't, okay, and to Floyd's credit, You know what? Early in Ali's career, he did get dropped. Not by Bert Cooper, by Henry Cooper in London. He fought him twice in London. And he did get dropped, and he got right back up and won the fight.
Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s brash attitude and flashy lifestyle cemented his status as one of the most disliked figures in boxing history. His refusal to address public criticism, coupled with his insistence that he didn't care what fans thought, only deepened the animosity. Mayweather openly stated he would continue fighting, whether in exhibitions or official bouts, regardless of opinion. This unapologetic indifference made him even more polarizing, with fans and commentators alike questioning the true motivations behind his actions.
Fight because they hate him. Because he talks so much shit, and he's like, look at my $1 million watch, look at my fucking jet, look at my house, look at this. He's like constantly showing you all these things that he has. Like, he'll lay out watches in a hotel bed, like, this is $1 million worth of watches, this watch goes for $2 million. And
my most expensive watch that I currently own is $18 million.
One watch. And so you hate him. People hate him.
He creates envy.
Yes. Yeah, he creates envy, and you want him to lose, but he's not gonna.
After retiring from professional boxing, Floyd Mayweather Jr. shifted his focus to exhibition bouts. However, these events drew heavy criticism. Many observers argued that by fighting lesser-known opponents purely for the payday, he was risking the tarnishing of his otherwise legendary legacy.
Floyd, what does it mean for you to go out on your terms, not on anybody else's terms, but you to make the decision, you know what, this is it, I don't care what all you guys say, I'm out of here, I'm done?
I mean, I think I think I just had a game plan. I had a brilliant game plan. The game plan was to be very outspoken. You know, I was born with personality. I was born with charisma. Speak my mind. Speak from the heart. You know, I don't hate or dislike anyone. But I want to go out there, you know, and just do what I have to do inside that square circle. Choose a tremendous team on the outside that's going to help me take things to the next level, and that's what I did.
His exhibition bouts gained a reputation as money-driven spectacles, with critics arguing that the focus was more on maximizing earnings than delivering genuinely competitive or meaningful fights of fans.
And that's the shot. But you know what it is? I think obviously with Floyd, he gets the biggest percentage of the purse, isn't it?
Yeah, but he can still get the biggest percentage of the purse.
Yeah, but Ricky Hatton's gonna want more. He'll want more. He'll want more.
He'll want more.
Yeah.
But I'm sure when they fought in their heyday, Floyd got more.
Yeah, of course.
So, you know what I'm saying?
No, but Floyd wants like 95% more. 90% more. You know what I'm saying? It's not like...
He's like 95-5. Yeah, that's how he likes to do it, innit? Because I'm not gonna lie, if Floyd fought Ricky, both of them now, catch weight 154, O2 Arena, it will sell out.
It will sell out. It will sell out.
Floyd's reputation took another hit with allegations that he didn't pay his opponents the full amounts promised for exhibition matches. Fighters like Deji and Logan Paul publicly claimed they never received the complete payments owed to them for their bouts with him.
Because I see a lot of people, people always bring up the fighter pay with the UFC, but isn't Logan complaining right now that he didn't get his checks from Floyd? Is that like a boxing issue versus
you don't
a boxing
you
thing?
You don't ever hear that coming out.
To this day,
you hear a guy going, I want to make $30 million, I didn't get paid enough. You don't ever hear guys going, yeah, they didn't pay me yet, ever.
Is that like a boxing issue?
Well, here's what happens when you go in and you do these fights. And you make them, and Hunter, correct me if I'm wrong. You do these fights that are exhibitions or whatever. The commission isn't overseeing it. So let's say I did a fight with Mike. I got Mike fighting, Francis or something. The athletic commission gets the money up front, so they pay the fighters. They don't have to wait for. That was the big problem in the past, is that these boxing promoters would come in and they wouldn't make as much money as they thought they were going to do, so they would stiff the fighters and not pay the guys. And that's why these regulations are in place in these different states.
As time went on, Floyd's career and the hype surrounding him began to diminish. Once a dominant force in the boxing world, his offering actions increasingly overshadowed his accomplishments inside the ring. Allegations of a $42 million scam and mounting evidence that his financial dealings were far from transparent further tarnished his image. Reports even surfaced that Mayweather had been stranded in Dubai due to unpaid debts, highlighting the seriousness of his financial troubles. Despite these issues, Mayweather worked hard to cultivate the persona of the highest paid athlete in the world. He frequently boasted about his earnings, claiming that no one in the history of sports could match his financial success.
There was some drama going on about Floyd Mayweather being stuck in Dubai. However, that man was at Game 5 of the Clippers game. He's claiming that he is stuck in Dubai because there is debts that he has to pay off and they're not letting him leave. And we're sitting at Game 5 and I look over and I'm like, dude, that's Floyd Mayweather. Royce takes a video of Floyd Mayweather at the Clippers game, posts it on his TikTok. It goes viral. He posts 2 videos, both go viral. And the comments, nobody is believing him. They're like, that's not really Floyd. That's a clone. Floyd's stuck in Dubai. And the crazy thing was, usually when you're at these games, they'll have like, oh, special guest, celebrity of the night. They didn't show Floyd on the thing. But we have it on camera. But go check out Royce's videos if you guys want to see it.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. worked hard to cultivate the image of being the highest paid athlete in the world. He frequently boasted about the enormous sums he earned throughout his career, often claiming that no other athlete in the history of sports could match his level of financial success. Moneybag boxing glove.
What did you see when you watched that fight?
Look, Floyd needs to keep doing what he's doing, which is fighting complete tomato cans who we've never heard of before. I've never seen anybody in the history of America get so rich and so famous out of having complete wimps throwing punch at their faces. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, well, it's happened before. What about Rihanna? Shame on you. Blasphemous. I will not stand for that. I will not stand for that. But, however, boxing has a misconception. Too soon? Was it too soon? Too soon.
Chael Sonnen, a prominent fighter and analyst, criticized Floyd Mayweather's continued participation in exhibition bouts, asserting that his motivations were purely financial. Sonnen emphasized that with billions already earned, Floyd had no legitimate need to fight merely for money. According to Sonnen, this focus on profit came at the expense of Floyd's legacy, suggesting that he was sacrificing his honor and reputation for a personal gain rather than competitive glory.
You know that Floyd is still getting in there as recently as this weekend because he needed the money.
You think Floyd's fighting because he needs the money?
Yeah.
Really? Why? You think he blew through all of his money?
Get the fuck. Well, he blew through a lot of it, but I'm sharing for you, it wasn't what you thought it was.
He blew
to start
through
with.
it and wasn't making as much as
they're
says.
claiming he was doing $100 million a fight, and I'm claiming for you, he in his whole career has made about $100 million. There's a very
wow. You know, Floyd had this long career. I could imagine him making more than $100 million.
I understand that. Floyd was not Muhammad Ali, and Floyd wasn't Mike Tyson. I got it. I know people think he made 130 in a night. I'm sharing with you, he didn't, and no boxer has. No boxer's ever made 130 million in one night. This is silly. Floyd Mayweather has closed down a mall. He has rented out the entire mall and he spent $15 million. The proof that this happened is Floyd in a mall and Floyd with a bag of cash that probably had about 100 grand in it. He says, man, I'm a VIP, I'm a VP, I'm a VVVVIP. Do you want to know why he was whispering, guys? He was whispering so that he didn't disrupt the employees and fellow shoppers at the mall. It's okay. This is a gimmick. Floyd did everything that Floyd is supposed to do. It's strange that a 50-year-old man would continue to do what he did when he was 28 years old. That's strange.
Part 18, polished and cohesive rewrite. Eddie Hearn, a prominent boxing promoter, openly criticized Floyd Mayweather's approach to the sport, labeling some of his fights as NAF, not a fight. Hearn argued that Floyd had shifted his focus from genuine competition to maximizing pay-per-view earnings, prioritizing financial gain over fan experience. According to Hearn, this transition from elite athlete to money-driven entertainer compromised the integrity of Mayweather's once sterling career.
Somewhere between 2,000 and 4,000, something like that, if that.
I believe so.
We've had some bad ones, but I've seen a map. Someone posted a map yesterday. I mean, I don't know anyone that even knows Floyd Mayweather is fighting on Saturday. Who is putting the money up for these events? Like, I think that the Mayweather fights are so f***ing naff, to be honest with you. But I don't actually mind. Like, at least Aaron Chalmers will go out and he can box and he'll have a go and like whatever. But literally no one knows that is even happening. Someone has hired out the O2 Arena thinking they're going to sell out the O2 Arena with Floyd Mayweather and they are going to do a couple of 100,000 buys on pay-per-view. It's either going to get cancelled before Saturday or someone is going to do their absolute conkers or people are not going to get paid.
After years of extravagant spending and collecting luxury assets, critics claim that Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s fortune may not be as strong as it once appeared. His legendary boxing career is now in the past, and his attempts to remain in the spotlight through exhibition fights have drawn significant criticism from fans and analysts. Controversy intensified when Mayweather was linked to allegations surrounding a $42 million scam, which triggered widespread backlash online. Reports from Business Insider also challenged his earlier claims of owning dozens of buildings, stating that public records did not support the idea that he fully owned 62 properties, suggesting he may only have partial involvement in some investments. These revelations fuel further criticism, as Mayweather's long-standing habit of publicly boasting about his wealth led many to accuse him of exaggeration and misleading claims about the true scale of his financial empire. Moneybag Boxing Glove.
There is a little bit of embellishing that you kind of have to do in order to get your foot in the door with some of these folks, because they otherwise ain't gonna deal with you. So it does require a little bit of fake it till you make it. I'm not saying that that report is true. I'm just simply saying that if there were some validity to that, that's not really the end of the world. He ain't lying about having ownership. He just may have embellished the truth about having no partners. Also, you got people calling him broke, which is crazy to me, man.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.